Right, the final one, the big one, the lecture clip. Let's look at what it is. It's a part of a lecture in a biology class.
Listen again to the lecture if you need to refamiliarize yourself with the content.
Have a look at my notes here. It's a simple topic. It's something that we can connect with quite easily, the idea of tools. Animals using them, humans using them. So animals, tools in the wild, no human instructions. That is mentioned at the beginning, so it's probably a good idea to include that at some point. What is the definition of tool? Well, hey, however, contrast. So many contrasts that come up. There are two options. There is the narrow definition, there is the broad definition. I always prefer to write on the left-hand side and the right-hand side when we have two things to compare. If you do them one under the other, I just feel it's not as easy, so give it a try. Left-hand side, the narrow definition, bullet points, specific task. Yeah, it's mentioned for both, but there it is. Object must be changed or shaped. It is deliberate for a purpose. The object is made. So that's really something that I might actually start with because it's such an emphasis.
When you note down examples, especially when connected to two or more cases or comparisons, make sure you separate the information clearly in your notes, otherwise you might mix up the information and lose precious points.
Example, the chimps. Yeah, they like to eat insects. Then we have sharpened to fit a hole. The leaves are removed and the right size for a job. All right, very simple, 3 points about how the chimpanzees are getting lunch. Next up, the broad definition. No modification needed, but again, it's for a specific task. So I'm actually going to use the idea that there is a similarity in the motivation, but not in the actual function. Any object for a task. The example given is an elephant with a stick. We try not to laugh as we imagine it scratching its back, and it's just used as it's found. So no modification, used as it's found. Let's go straight down and have a look at how I put these into the 15-second blocks in the planning stage, which is so important for your response. Two definitions of tool. This is the first 15-second, broad versus narrow. Okay. How are they different? One is made, one is found. The narrow must be made, broad it must be found, but in both cases it's for a specific purpose. So have a look at those notes and think how logical it is to start off with that particular structure, differences and similarities. Next up, in the next 15 seconds, I focus on details of the narrow, modified for a specific task, deliberate decision and design, contrasted with no modification and used as found. And of course, for a specific task. Right, the last 30 seconds, I look at both examples. The chimp, by the 30-second mark, we want to be doing that. No leaves, it's stripped, sharpened insects from a hole. If you are careful with your sentence structure, passive and active, you can fill 15 seconds with that. Likewise, with the elephant, by contrast, again, it's a contrast, so we can use those phrases. Branches or sticks found, no change, used as is. The elephant's just happy scratching his back. Go back. In summary, sure, I think with this one, if you've got the 5 seconds at the end to close with a summary, it makes more sense. There's no real conclusion here. Even though both have specific tasks, the clear difference is there's deliberate altering to the tool by the animal without human instruction.
Now we will transfer the notes into a structured response. As described in the previous videos, we recommend 15 or 20-second blocks, depending on the number of points you have planned to explain with the associated details.
The professor focuses in on how animals use tools in the wild without having had human teaching. She focuses in on a narrow and a broad definition with both, where tools are used for specific purposes. In detail, the narrow definition, the tools are being modified by the animals for a task, and deliberately so, and the task has a purpose, whereas the broad, the animal just finds the tool and uses it as it is. So the first example was given for the narrow definition where a chimpanzee uses a stick, removes the leaves, so it's stripped and it's sharp and it fits into a hole for the purpose probably of gaining food. The second example given is for the broad definition. It's an elephant who just finds a branch and scratches its back using the branch as is found without any modification. So in summary, the first type, the narrow, there's modification for a specific purpose made by the animal, whereas the second, the broad definition, there is no modification to the tool.
Record your response to this task and repeat until you are satisfied.
Hello again. The YouTube algorithm will offer these free English lessons to more students if you do a little something to help out. Apparently, over half of you forget to like these free videos, probably because you're busy making notes. So pretty please, with sugar on top, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thank you in advance, and let's help others improve their English skills for free.